Hi y'all, Tracey, Trials of a Long-Haired Girl here. I know, 2 videos in a row. I know this probably looks funny that I'm wearing a shirt under a shirt, but because it's white in the back, I was kind of concerned that it might get a little see-through. So I bought this shirt. I'm actually kind of excited because I bought this shirt it was on clearance, I think, at Belk over a year ago. Here, let me stand back and show you my outfit. You can't really see it, I guess, but I'm wearing a red skirt, which I fixed, which it's not the best job, but as long as I'm wearing something like over the waistband, I think it's wearable until I get smaller. But yeah, I thought it was cute, and I got it for like less than $5. So I figured I'd pull it out. It's 4th of July, you know. I don't even know if Weight Watchers was doing meetings today, to be honest. I did not even try to get on. My husband and I had the house to ourselves, so we were kind of enjoying some quiet time, and we slept a little later than we normally do, or than we have been. But I did want to tell y'all, hold on, I gotta look it up. I wanted to tell y'all what I actually weighed in this morning, which ironically enough, yesterday it was lower. Yesterday it was 174.9. But today, because I was not paying a whole lot of attention to what I was eating yesterday, well, I was paying attention to it as it was going in my mouth, but I wasn't making a point to track, which I should have been anyway. So today I'm back up to 176.2, and I did not move as much as I did the couple days before that. So, but yeah, I'm just going to take the 176.2, and, you know, that's my new starting point, as they say. But yeah, I am really, I'm enjoying having this standing desk and to be able to stand up versus sitting all the time. I moved my chair over here to my husband's keyboard. I don't know, here, yeah, see, y'all can see my husband's keyboard there. He was actually playing on it for the longest, and then he got up and cooked some lentil soup, so that's what we had for lunch today. We're having ribs for dinner, and I'm not making an effort to really track that today. But for tomorrow, I'm really going to be focused on eating more on plan, and I'm going to be focusing on trying to get some things prepped for the week. I don't think anybody knows it other than Kim, but my sweet husband bought me an Instant Pot, and I am finding that I'm really enjoying that. I made, although, you know, honestly, it was not Weight Watcher friendly. It was the regular cream cheese, etc. I wasn't focused on low fat nothing. We used the Tillamook. I can't remember if it was the sharp cheddar or the medium cheddar. That's what I used for the cheese in my cracked chicken. I used some bacon that we had cooked. I used 2 slices of regular Kirkland bacon. My chicken breast. I used whole wheat pasta. And regular Philadelphia cream cheese. But y'all, it was so good. My husband had like 2 bowls. So anyway, really liked that. I've also done macaroni and cheese in my Instant Pot. I made some eggs in my Instant Pot. So for all of y'all, Dee, Kim, and I don't even remember who else that kept telling me I really needed to get an Instant Pot, I'm glad I did. Or glad I talked my husband into it, I should say. Although my ribs are currently going in my crock pot because it's what I'm accustomed to. So, yeah. So 176.2 is going to be my new starting point right now. I have been doing research. If you watched my video yesterday, I still don't have a definitive answer, but what I can tell you, what I've noticed, and a comment that my husband made to me, which I don't think I had fully thought about until he mentioned it. When I was really focused, like at the beginning of June, on trying to hit my step goal, trying to get up, trying to work out, trying to, before the back pain got so bad, which I guess that was probably the end of May, the first part of June, because this hit, like, I turned to get my son a cup. That happened the night that my daughter, or the day that my daughter graduated, which was June the 6th. But my husband's point still kind of remains the same. When I was focusing on getting up and moving, I'll be real honest, y'all. This office is not like super large, but I would push this chair like under the desk, and I would stand up. I had a schedule. I'm just gonna tell you, I had a schedule. I had my Fitbit, had my alarm set, so I would try to walk around, between 7 and 8. Those couple of hours that I wasn't trying to actually get my step goal or get my steps in. Because most of the time when I would get up and walk at like 5:30. So I would get up at 5. It would take some time to do my Bible studies and pray, and because I need to do that. I know that for myself. And then at 5:30, when I had an alarm set for 5 and one for 5:30. So when my alarm would go off at 5:30, I would put my tennis shoes on, and I would pull up a video or put in a DVD in the living room, and I would walk for half an hour. Then when that half hour was done, I would, go about my day. As y'all may recall, I have been working from home since March. So I would set an alarm on my Fitbit for 9:55. So my Fitbit would buzz at 9:50 the majority of the time and say, hey, you need to get more steps. So I would get up. I have been watching DVDs, like a ton of DVDs, because for whatever reason, unless it's Hulu, the TV in here doesn't like to stay hooked up to, if I'm streaming, for whatever reason, my stuff disappears, like on my phone. If I'm doing Prime, if I'm doing Netflix, it just randomly like goes away. And I have to pull up the Google Home in order to pause or anything else, unless it's Hulu. Hulu seems to be the only thing that works like that. Anyway, so I will change the input on the TV. I will pull up an Ellen Barrett Weight Watchers. I don't know if y'all remember it or not. Hold on, I'll show you what it looks like. I didn't buy this from Weight Watchers. I bought this when this came out, or bought this on eBay. This, honest to goodness, y'all, is one of my favorite walking DVDs that's not Leslie Sansone. On this DVD, she has 2 10-minute walks, a 30-minute walk, and a 20-minute walk. And even her 10-minute walks, she actually will have you stop in the middle and do some stretching exercises to help relieve some of the stress in your back. And while you may think, how are you doing that with your back hurting? It actually, that for whatever reason I've noticed seems to help. If I stop, if I stretch, if you're familiar at all with yoga, it's the cat, I believe it's the cat and the cow, where you're hunched and then you stretch and go the other direction. That seems to help my back so much. And she kind of does sort of a version without getting on your hands and knees in the middle and at the end of one of the 10-minute videos, which seems to help me because I can, when I'm working, I know I have a lot of stress that builds up. So I can take that 10 minutes, and quite honestly, it gets me, I'm guesstimating because I haven't looked closely so that I could give anybody a definitive number, but it gets me about 1,000-ish steps. So I hit my step goal for 9 o'clock, hit my step goal for 10 o'clock. Then I set another alarm, and I will do, depending on how busy we are, I have done like a 1 mile walk with Leslie, which is about 15 minutes, and then I stretch on my own. I have also tried to do, I don't know if y'all have found them, I've also tried to do some of the Paula B workouts. I like hers. She actually does some that are a little different, not so much focused solely on walking, but focusing on cardiovascular work that is not necessarily walking, but it's keeping you moving for an entire 10 minutes. I like those too. But I'll set an alarm for 11:55. I do at least 10 minutes. That gets me my walk time or my step goal from 11 o'clock and 12 o'clock. Set another one for 1:55. That gets my 5 minutes that I want to do for 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock hours. And then I set another one for 3:55. You kind of get the idea. When I was doing my, when I was blowing it out of the park with my walking and with my exercise, I was doing a half-hour walk in the morning. I was doing my 10-minute walks during the course of the day. Now, understand, when we first were at home, I was going outside and walking. But I am allergic to grass and trees, and right now we're kind of at that time where everybody's mowing their grass. So when people are mowing their grass, it's hard for me to walk outside. So that's why I started doing the 10 minutes inside. So one of the things that the doctor said to me is that cardiovascular exercise is going to help me. Now, Wednesday morning, I start therapy. And I'm supposed to do physical therapy twice a week for 3 to 4 weeks, depending on, kind of how things go. So we'll that's definitely going to be part of my exercise. But kind of for the coming week, one of the things that I want to do, especially since I'm standing here, is I kind of want to focus on some core work. I have somewhere around here one of those little blue, it's not a ball, I don't even know where it went. I'm going to have to find that first. But it's not steady, so it kind of makes you focus on your core. And I'm thinking that, for 5 minutes or whatever while I'm standing here, that might be beneficial for me to kind of do that and focus on some core work and being able to stand while I'm working. The other thing that I want to do is to continue, especially this week, to continue with doing the walks during the day like I've been trying to do, or like I was trying to do before. And then hopefully I can do some workouts, maybe some yoga. It may only be 10 minutes, but some yoga, maybe in the morning and at night to kind of help stretch my body, because I'm noticing as hard as it may be for me to get up and move around sometimes, when I move around, I guess it's much like with people that I've heard talking about arthritis. When you move around, it's better than when you don't. Because when you don't, you get stiff and it's harder to move. So, you know, when I was doing my very best, I was doing a workout. I was doing a walk in the morning, my walks during the day, you know, my incremental walks during the day, and then I was doing a walk or a workout at night. I was doing Nia, which I love, but because my back has been hurting me so bad, I have not felt like I could do that. And now they've kind of changed the format. So on Monday nights, she's still doing it online, but on Monday nights it's a Nia happy half hour, and then on Wednesdays it's a full hour. So a full hour on Wednesday is difficult for me to do. So what I may try to do, depending on how I'm feeling, if I can get a workout in the morning, great. I know Wednesdays are going to be harder because, well, this Wednesday anyway is going to be harder because I've got my physical therapy and I've got to leave here by like 7 o'clock in order to be there because my therapy is at 7:30, and then I have to be, you know, once I finish that, then I have to come back and log on for work. But I'm hoping that if I can, even if I can't work out in the mornings, if I can't manage to get myself up for whatever reason, if I can focus on stopping at 5 o'clock, maybe 5:30, because typically my office hours are technically from 8:30 to 5:30, or 8:30 to 5. But if we're swamped the way we have been, I've been working longer, and that's probably not helping my back, so I don't need anybody to yell at me for that, but I'm aware. But I've been trying to get up a little more, move to get water, move to, you know, fix lunch, move to do whatever, or stand up for a few minutes before I sit back down. But I'm thinking if I stop and then maybe I can put in a DVD, I may have to modify a little bit for right now, until my back really gets to feeling better. I purchased the Miracle Miles set. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's this one. But this thing right here, I'm thinking that may be my best thing for right now, as far as trying to do any sort of strength training, just simply because it's not a weight, and I think me trying to do the weights may have been part of what was making the pain in my back so bad. So I definitely need to step back to square one and start like I've been trying to, or like I have not worked out in a while, because I'm going to need to do that. The one thing I can say, because I was in such great shape at one point before, it's a little easier for me to do some of the longer walks, at least for me, I've noticed. It's easier for me to do some of the longer walks cardiovascular wise. I don't feel like I'm going to die. So it's definitely going to be something I'm going to have to play with over the next week or so, figure out what my body can tolerate. And kind of based on what I saw somebody else post, I think this week is not sitting so much. I've kind of watched some videos, I've kind of read some things online, and some of the things that I have for sure had are connected with fibromyalgia. So I don't really know, you know, I mean, there's no definitive diagnosis for this. There's only ruling things out, and if they've ruled everything out and there's nothing left it could be, then they say it's fibromyalgia, based on kind of the research that I'm coming up with. So, I still don't have a definitive answer. I don't know if it's arthritis, if it's fibromyalgia, if it's something else. But I do know that for my weight loss journey, for my health, I may need to start trying to look at doing some of the anti-inflammatory foods. Focus on incorporating some of those things into my daily diet. I know Lisa from Dumpy to Diva does a lot of that because she has autoimmune disorders. So, that may be a very real thing that I'm going to have to look at least temporarily, so that I can rule out what may be causing the issues. So it's going to kind of be a tricky process for me, but I'm certain that I can do it. One of the things that I love is that there now is so much information around compared to when my friend Lisa was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. She didn't have as many things that she could pull from because there was less known. So, for that I'm thankful. I am grateful for all of the dozens and dozens of cookbooks that I have, and that there are things that I know that I can look at and turn to. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm gonna go to what I know for sure is gonna work. When I was feeling less pain, I was eating the way I needed to be, and quite honestly, I'm seeing a lot where they're saying there is a connection between gluten and whole wheat and things like that, and inflammation in your body. And so that may be something that ultimately I have to look at, but right now, I don't think that is an issue for me, or at least not that I've noticed, because I've been doing the whole wheat pastas for quite some time. So I may look at that a little further, a little more in depth down the road, but I have a ton of whole wheat pasta right now that I'm definitely going to have to try to go through before I look into that. Anyway, I've been yammering on long enough. So, weight update for this week, I am 176.2. So that's my new starting place. We'll see where I get for next week. I do have a general meal plan idea for the coming week, which I will share with y'all for a Monday video. But yeah, just so you know, I'm all in. And again, though, if you have had experience with fibromyalgia or arthritis or another one of the possibly associated autoimmune disorders, let me know what your experience has been, especially food-wise. I remember being put on she called it the migraine diet, but I am realizing more and more that it seems to be similar. Like a bunch of the things that I'm seeing are very similar to what I saw when I had to do the migraine diet, which for me was very difficult because I've said it before, I grew up in cattle country. You eat beef, it's what you eat. The commercial was spot on. Beef, it's what's for dinner, and it was for the majority of the time in my house. So definitely looking at doing, which again, even I guess 10 years ago when I did that, 100% grass-fed beef was hard to find and expensive. What she had said to me is she wanted me to try to cut it out, but if I felt like I needed to have it to focus on having bison or 100% grass-fed beef, or if it was halal beef or kosher beef, so that it had not been processed the same way. So that's kind of, I took a lot from that, and that's kind of what I still do now. So definitely something I'm kind of looking at. So anyway, before I go off again, I'm going to cut this short. So 176.2, that is my weight this week. That's my new starting point. It can only go up from, well, it can only go down from here. Because I gotta be committed to my health. I know that me being me yo-yo dieting or continuing to be overweight is not helpful for my pain either. So anyway, have a great day, y'all.